When you use this ring, the 5 elders appear to you from a blue flame. They teach you and show you all the lost knowledge. It brings a ton of powers.
Imagine a shadowy online marketplace, a bizarre bazaar where the supernatural meets financial exploitation. Here, in the eerie corridors of the web, a vampire pyramid scheme lures the vulnerable with promises of immortality.
And I have with me today Anthony. He is a vampire, he is living, he is in the flesh.
While spirit-keeping shops peddle fantastical creatures as companions. But this isn't just a quirky oddity of the digital age, it's a treacherous trap preying on those with mental health conditions. These websites don't just sell ghostly tales and mythical beings, they feed into and potentially exacerbate pre-existing delusions.
And you point it, you touch the flesh with it, of you or anybody else.
Okay.
And what this does is it removes pain. So it'll do arthritis, joint issues, headache issues.
Offering supernatural solutions that come with real devastating costs. It's a world where the lines between fantasy and manipulation blur, ensnaring the unsuspecting in a web of magical deceit and financial ruin. Welcome to the dark side of the internet, where exploiting the mentally ill for profit is just another day's business. Hey everyone, it's Dragunilla. Welcome to my show. You'll want to stick around for this one because it hits close to home. So see, I've got a friend. Let's call him John. Smart guy, responsible. Not the kind you'd ever expect to roam the streets barefoot at night to escape from invisible forces. Everything went well for him. He had a job, living abroad on his own, fully capable of taking care of himself like any functioning adult in their 20s. But seemingly out of the blue, late-onset schizophrenia struck. His life went from stable to chaotic, reaching the point of him losing his job and being forced to abandon his independence and move back in with his parents. One of the small but strange changes we as his friends noticed was his sudden and reckless spending. Seeing what this behavioral change due to schizophrenia did to him, both financially and emotionally, made me curious and set the stage for my journey into the creepy, predatory world of spirit keeping. Spirit keeping. The form of spirit keeping that we'll be talking about today is a modern New Age practice from the early 2000s that originates but is completely separate from various ancient metaphysical beliefs. The core idea is that you can keep the spirit or essence of a living or deceased entity as a sort of companion, an idea that humankind has undoubtedly been toying with for as long as people have died. Those involved in the modern-day spirit-keeping community believe that the spirits we as humans can interact with have well-developed individual personalities and the power to autonomously influence both spiritual and physical realms. And that they are not strictly human, animal, or anything else that exists in particular. In fact, they tend to be unicorns and dragons and vampires or other fantastical creatures made famous from current-day pop culture. So how does one keep a spirit? The process on offer is through a practice known as binding. In the metaphysical sense, binding refers to creating a magical tether between the human keeper and the entity. The types of entities range from ghosts, jinns, fairies, angels, demons, to completely new and original creatures discovered or, more likely, made up by the shop owners. Spirits are commonly divided into subcategories by moral alignment. White art entities are good, dark art entities are dubious, and black art entities are evil. Other than that, distinctions are made between the current vital status of the supernatural entity. Living entities are supposedly still alive in a different realm, while regular spirits are the essence of someone or something that once lived. Essentially, the binding is supposed to offer a safe and beneficial relationship between the keeper and the kept. This binding may involve a physical object known as a spirit vessel, which could be anything from a piece of jewelry to a haunted doll. It serves as a home for the spirit, a focal point for their energy. If there is a vessel involved, it will need to be charged and recharged. This may require a specific charging box, which of course is going to be extra, or the casting of charging spells at a fee. The spirits themselves typically require a form of recharging too, so-called offerings that are unique to each entity and offered to maintain the relationship or to grow their powers. These offerings can range from specific types of herbs, gems, or even activities like playing certain music or making particular gestures. In a way, it's almost like feeding a pet that you never see but believe is always with you, influencing your life in unseen ways. And for those who delve deep into this practice, these spirits are as real to them as anything else, requiring maintenance, attention, and emotional investment. Conjuring your own spirits is a thing within the community, but most people purchase them, or rather, the idea of them. That's right, you can supposedly buy paranormal entities online. Many spirit-keeping shops claim to offer a wide range of these entities, each with their own powers, characteristics, and price tag, promising different benefits from companionship to good luck, love, or financial gain. Or, if you're edgy, you could go for black arch entities that promise merciless revenge upon your enemies. A note here is that many spirit-keeping shops specifically do not offer black arch entities. Probably because selling a ghost that is supposed to help you murder people is rightfully seen as a liability. The process of acquiring a spirit of any category typically involves a monetary transaction followed by a ritual performance by the conjurer, and a DIY welcome ritual that the buyer is expected to perform, following instructions that vary from seller to seller. And here is where we loop back to John. In a compromised mental state, he stumbled upon lots of little weird trinkets that he impulsively convinced himself that he needed on sites like AliExpress and Wish. Driven by the disorganized thinking that often accompanies schizophrenia, the sense of value he saw in these little decorative nothings seemed completely rational to him. The short-term, immediate kick of buying something fun suddenly far outweighed any and all long-time savings goals he had stuck to before he got diagnosed. While John bought items along the line of Pokemon coasters, others in his situation who got exposed to spirit-keeping webshops have ended up spending the same considerable amount of money on what are essentially elaborate tales woven around mundane objects. What makes this far worse than what financially happened to John is that for those people, any existing delusions of interacting with supernatural entities are actively reinforced by the promises of these shops. This exacerbates mental instability and makes their road to recovery much harder than any expensive spending on Pokemon coasters ever could. Creepy Hollows. Creepy Hollows, the birthplace of spirit keeping, is an online realm where this dark commerce thrives. Established way back in 2001, this website, according to itself, has been the go-to hub for all things related to spirit keeping for over 2 decades. It isn't just a storefront, it's a big web page complete with an encyclopedia, a forum, and an About Us section that delves into the world and philosophy of spirit keeping as presented by its founders, Ash and Magnolia. Ash and Magnolia, the self-proclaimed inventors of modern spirit keeping, clearly aren't just selling products, they're selling a belief system. One that, allegedly, places them at the center and cultivates an atmosphere that's ripe for unquestioning loyalty. Threads by them in their forum discuss how Creepy Hollows pioneered the modern concept of spirit keeping and why Ash and Magnolia are the most experienced practitioners in the field. While they readily offer an extensive selection of spirits, magical items, and other metaphysical goods, the methods behind their craft are kept closely guarded. This calculated secrecy serves a dual purpose. It maintains an air of mystical authority around them, and also deflects scrutiny. Questions or doubts are dismissed as trolling or ignorance, further reinforcing their untouchable status within their community. In a pinned forum thread called The Truth About Creepy Hollows, Magnolia posts a 6-point list about how their business is legitimate and their competitors are wrong. You can pause the video and read the whole post if you like. I am just going to read point 2 and 3 aloud as the rest of the list just reinforces the same sentiment. Point 2. Unlike many startups these days, Ash and I actually do the work ourselves. We don't use conjuration boxes bought from other sellers. We've been offering our services to the public online for 15 years, and we actually know what we're doing. I think the time for creepy hollows to be questions as to whether or not we are real has long passed. It's been 15 years now. I think we have long proven ourselves to the world. Point 3. Ash and I do this for a living. We don't have other jobs. This isn't a hobby. We live and breathe our work. Anyone who has been in the paranormal community for more than a minute knows our reputation for our devotion to our craft. So taking potshots at our devotion to our work won't fly. To drive home the point properly, even for visitors who do not visit or participate in the forum, the first line of their About page reads, "We were the first internet website dedicated to spirit keeping and continue to remain an authority on the processes and truths behind what spirit keeping is and means," which pretty neatly sums up this narrative that they strive to project and maintain. Navigating through the main sections of the Creepy Hollows website, the online store, it's easy to see how certain psychological hooks are embedded to captivate those who are vulnerable or uninitiated. The vastness of the product range is in itself a selling point, with an array of offerings that span from spirit bindings to spells, enchanted rub-on tattoos, university courses, memberships in various very niche clubs, and whatever witch balls are. The depth and variety of their catalog lend an air of authenticity. For someone already on the edge of belief, this impressive selection may confirm the thought, "There's so much here, surely it can't all be fictitious, can it?" Creepy Hollows are aiming for loyal repeat customers. They have made haunting people's wallets long-term their business model. Epic sales events, special secret categories, loyalty programs. Let's talk about that loyalty program. The customer loyalty program is designed to encourage repeat buying through special offers and discounts. However, it takes a manipulative twist by offering access to hidden categories, creating a sense of exclusivity and incentivizing customers to keep buying to unlock these secrets. The program uses a point system that redeems 2% of your next purchase, trapping customers in a cycle where the more you buy, the more they're incentivized to keep buying, even if the value of what they get is questionable. When you're already vulnerable, being part of a special club can feel validating. The urge to spend just a bit more to unlock that secret category might be irresistible. You know, the one that's stocked with exclusive spirit and entity bindings, as if the regular ones weren't enough. I would go as far as to claim that that sort of temptation, combined with the promise of supernatural solution to life's problems, is definitely predatory. Just imagine someone in a similar position to John, who have a hard time holding down a job or maybe can't hold down a job at all, getting sucked into this financially draining spiral of paranormal fear of missing out. Fantastical Claims. There are so many item and service listings boasting fantastical claims that I'm just going to point out a few of my personal favorites that are extra stupid, and we'll look at them critically together, okay? Cantaride spirit named Havashi, loyal guardians and warriors with sexual power. Cantaride are a race of half-human, half-horse, also known as hippocentaur. Female centaurs are commonly known as cantarides, although in recent times centaur denotes male or female of the species. They are warriors, guardians, swift and agile and quick to act. They're known for being seductive and alluring, full of sensual power and influence, and are also known for being fearless, courageous risk-takers who are highly skilled and adept in combat. They are guardians by nature, territorial and loyal. They are also highly sensuous in energy and were known for their stamina and potent appetite for sexual stimulation. As spirit companions, they are high energy, social, like to interact, enjoy being tasked, and will give you a heightened sense of sexual energy. For those who do not like spontaneous arousal or feelings of sexual desire, they would not make a good companion. They are very lively and easy to bond with. They will inspire you when it comes to your natural gifts and abilities, and will help you strengthen your supernatural powers. Oh boy, where do we even start with this one? This is a typical spirit listing. First off, it's selling you a Cantaride, a half-human, half-horse spirit companion. That's right, for the low price of $50, you too can have a mythological creature that's a mix between Mr. Ed and Fabio, but female, and very sexual. The listing promises a laundry list of benefits from boosting your natural gifts and abilities to strengthening your supernatural powers. These are incredibly vague and sweeping claims that conveniently can't be proven or disproven. Also, the assertion that these mythical beings will give you a heightened sense of sexual energy ventures into the realm of the absurd. The claims are so ludicrous that I almost circle back to being brilliant. Brilliant at parting you from your money while you wait for a mythical creature to, heighten your senses. Help to housebreak a pet. This spell is used to housebreak a pet. You can use the spell as many times as you want. If you ever feel like the effects of the spell start to wane, you can recast yourself anytime to recharge the spell. A novice or master can recite this spell. You can use any draws you wish, candles, stones, incense, wands, whatever makes you feel comfortable, as your level of comfort in casting is paramount to its success. So let's just start by acknowledging how off the wall that sounds. Housebreaking a pet is a process that involves consistent training, positive reinforcement, and time. No credible animal behaviorist would point you towards a spell as a substitute for proper training methods. Past life romances. Reconnect with those you loved. Reconnect with those you loved in a past life. Whether you were married or were in a short-term or long-term relationship, this binding brings you closer to the people you were in love with previously, be they humans, elves, vampires, giants, merfolk, etc. This reading provides a list of the 4 to 6 greatest loves you had during your past lives. It provides name, sex, species, approximate or exact date, and what your relationship was like. First off, the whole idea of reconnecting with past loves from previous lives is based on a belief in reincarnation, which is a spiritual notion with, obviously, no scientific backing. They also promise crazy specific details like names, dates, and life stories, but never explain how they come up with this info. So good luck verifying any of it. Secondly, this item seems to be targeting people's emotional vulnerabilities. If you're lonely or mourning a lost relationship, the idea of connecting with a past love might be tempting. But remember, it's also emotionally manipulative. To make things more enticing, they also throw in popular fantasy elements like elves and vampires. Basically, they're selling a fictional romance novel as a reality, and that's a problem. Enchanted amulet with blend of Aztec spells for divination, third eye power, and sight into ancient past. An amulet imbued with spells for divination, third eye power, and sight into the ancient past. It is great for those who want to dig into the secrets and mysteries of the ancient civilizations, especially the Aztecs, and discover the light and dark sides of the people who came before us. For those who love investigation through meditation or sleep cycles, you'll find this blend of spells enlightening, adventurous, and a total awakening experience. Okay, firstly, the amulet purports to give powers of divination and third eye power, which are both nebulous terms that could mean anything or nothing at all. What exactly is third eye power? How is it quantified, and how can one verify that the amulet has activated or enhanced this power? It also claims to offer sight into the ancient past, specifically the ancient civilizations like the Aztecs. The historical Aztecs are a subject of rigorous academic research, so the notion that an amulet could provide an awakening experience into their secrets and mysteries is not only implausible, but it also trivializes the scholarly work done in the field. Third, this amulet claims to be a game changer for people into investigating through meditation or sleep cycles. Let's get real. These are intricate states of mind that even scientists and psychologists are still trying to figure out. Objectively, the idea that owning this trinket could somehow enhance your sleep or meditation experience is a bit far-fetched to say the least. Creepy Hollows versus medication. Despite Creepy Hollows being far from a medical institution with licensed healthcare providers, a now deleted entry on the website that is only accessible via the Wayback Machine categorizes several different medications into tiers sorted on how they allegedly affect your ability to interact with spirits. Acetaminophen, albuterol, and other commonly prescribed medications for physical conditions like heart or lung issues are listed as causing little to moderate delay. Meanwhile, psychiatric medications like antipsychotics, mood stabilizers, and medications for depression are stated to lead to considerable to heavy delay in spiritual connections, with time frames stretched out by as much as 100%. This is awful for multiple reasons. Firstly, it could stigmatize medication and potentially dissuade people from taking prescribed treatments. Secondly, by quantifying the delay supposedly caused by medications, Creepy Hollows are attempting to make their items and services appear more scientific than they really are. This may also perpetuate the notion that if your enchanted items or spirits aren't working as promised, it's not because they're illegitimate or fake, it's because your medication is getting in the way. It shifts the burden of proof onto the customer while conveniently providing the business with an alibi for any lack of results. This is especially troublesome when it comes to vulnerable populations like people with mental illness, who might already be more susceptible to fantastical promises. As of today, the site has been updated with a notice under the Responsible Magic tag that states the following: nothing related to magic, spirits, supernatural energy, the paranormal, etc. is going to be a cure for medical issues, for mental health problems, changing your body type, height, face, scars, etc., or for situations where a medical professional who is trained and licensed can offer true guidance, support, and healing practices. This also applies to situations where people think there is something wrong with them in regards to possession or demonic entanglement, etc. But really, it's a serious medical condition that needs a doctor's care. If you are experiencing any kind of physical problems, you need to see a licensed medical professional immediately. If you seek the care of a doctor and they clear you of all physical problems and you believe the matter to be solely supernatural related, then you can pursue magical means of relief. If you write to us regarding issues we may feel are related to something physical or mental, we will advise you to seek assistance from a medical professional. Even if you feel everything going on with you is related to the supernatural, it doesn't mean there isn't value to seeking advice and support from a medical professional. Your life is important and precious, so don't be shy to advocate for yourself. If there is a situation that originated with the supernatural, you may still have physical or mental effects from the situation that need to be tended to and addressed. Do not play around with your health. It's worth its weight in gold. Seek true medical assistance first. This message for sure seems to be a step in the right direction by acknowledging the importance of medical professionals in treating physical and mental health conditions. It indeed says that for any medical issue, one should consult a qualified healthcare provider, which is sound advice. However, the message still leaves room for manipulation and can be viewed as somewhat disingenuous for several reasons. It insinuates that once you're cleared by a medical professional, magical means of relief are a legitimate next step for problems believed to be solely supernatural related. This sets up a false dichotomy between medical and supernatural solutions, implying that if medicine can't fix you, magic could. The door is thus still wide open for the exploitation of vulnerable people. After receiving medical clearance, individuals may be more inclined to fully invest their hopes, money, and times into these magical or supernatural solutions, thinking they've exhausted the scientific ones. The caveat that you should seek medical advice could merely serve as a liability shield for the organization, while they continue to make fantastical claims and offer products that promise supernatural interventions. Creepy Hollows and Haunted Curiosities. Creepy Hollows appears to be linked to another store called Haunted Curiosities, which has far more extreme aesthetics and bizarre listings. In a post from 2018, Magnolia wrote, "The only original seller I know who was around when we started our site and actually helped found the original CH forum is Dee from Haunted Curiosities. While Creepy Hollows attempts to maintain a more sanitized appearance, Haunted Curiosities takes it up a notch with a less professional, more edgy and gory approach. And a history of jaw-dropping offers, including a 44,000 listing for a full infusion that includes a date in a hotel room with a 500-year-old IRL vampire." This listing is from 2009 and no longer exists on the Haunted Curiosities website, but was saved and reposted in the comment section of a Creepy Hollows awareness webpage, a webpage dedicated to warning potential customers about both Creepy Hollows and Haunted Curiosities. Full Infusion, posted the 2nd of June 2009. Price $44,000. Special price $40,000. Total $40,000. This is full power. You will be meeting with a real vampire of light. This vampire has reached full power a long time ago. We know that vampires lack a light because of the lack of soul. This vampire has found that light and soul again through a direct communication from a being that forgave all he has done. I don't want to get too much into this on here. While he has soul now, he still holds all his power and it has now become more stronger than ever. This is mainly due to having been on both sides. What you're getting is a full power infusion of light into your body. You will also get something just for you, which he will give you. This item will keep an open communication with him and a higher being forever. What will happen? You will meet him for the day and for dinner. When it's over, you will retire to his hotel room for the process. There is no sex involved here at all. Do not ask, it won't happen. What will happen is that he will transfer both power and the ability to communicate with a higher being of extreme greatness. I do not want to reveal who the being is that will communicate with you. There are reasons for this, but the being is one of the greatest in the world. You will not be disappointed in any way. This is something you will come away from happy that you did it. You will be able to accomplish all that you have wanted in a short period of time. You may even change your path in life as I have. Details will be worked out when you buy. Times of you meeting will be at your discretion unless there is an absolute emergency. From an article about haunted curiosities on ripoffreport.com, a site where buyers post warnings of scammers they've been subjected to, I've gathered that the full infusion listing was part of a pyramid scheme. Those who paid Haunted Curiosities $40,000 to get turned into vampires then got to turn new clients into vampires, as they then officially had become vampire invokers for Haunted Curiosities and would keep a cut of the new profits. DD from Haunted Curiosities did a fake transformation on me. Submitted Friday, the 1st of March 2013. To be honest, I haven't felt any vampire abilities yet. Nothing! I won't address this on forum, but I am very disappointed and a bit pissed that the money I saved for this has not paid off yet. I worked my ass off at my job to save the money for my transformation and was promised in a sense from DD and Jason that I won't come home disappointed. Well, I am disappointed and sometimes I feel like I wasted all that money I paid for this with nothing to show when here I could have paid off my freaking Mustang I'm financing. Only thing I have left with HC is being one of their vampire invokers. And I get paid decently. If people are paying 40 to 80k, then I should get at least 30% of it. So, say someone pays $40,000, I should get at least $10,000 to $15,000, but I only get $2,000 to $5,000 instead. Seems to me, if Didi didn't have her vampire invokers, she wouldn't profit anything from these vampire transformations. And yet she's going to give me a small amount to get paid out of 40k, for example. I'm not mad about it, even though it appears that way. I just think it's a bit stingy, underpaying the vampire for doing the transformation. So I don't know. I have no vampire abilities at all, and I still feel human. I have gotten fatter since I was turned instead of losing weight, so I'm not happy with the outcome. Now I was told, after 9 moon cycles it will take to see or feel all results at latest. They told me this info when I flew down there. They should have told it to me before I paid, because otherwise I would have waited to be turned. Didi Doti, the owner of Haunted Curiosities, is, or was, her whereabouts are very mysterious, a highly controversial figure in the paranormal and metaphysical business community. There are many more scamming allegations besides the vampire one, most from customers being sold items such as fake Chinese emeralds for astronomical 4- and 5-figure sums. Besides running the Haunted Curiosities webshop, she hosted a radio show featuring sensational stories like one about her allegedly stealing a dead woman's body from the New World Order, which she claims was facilitated by her IRL vampire friend, Sinchine. The radio show/podcast website for Haunted Curiosities is taken down from blogtalkradio.com, but some data still exists where blurbs about various show topics can be read, such as: Today we will discuss how you can change your DNA to benefit you. Do you have alien DNA? Does everyone? And what kind of things can we change and what can we get out of it? Can you become a full telepath? Can you make things materialize, and what is a thought form? As we've already touched on, to the average person, a site like Creepy Hollows might seem goofy, but to someone on the throes of a schizoaffective episode, it's akin to navigating a psychological minefield without a guide. Hierarchical pricing and presentation of spirits and enchanted artifacts lend them a false sense of legitimacy, feeding directly into the delusions of those already predisposed to such beliefs. The moment these individuals click buy, they're not just making a purchase, they're reinforcing and concretizing their own delusional systems. This kind of predatory business model isn't unique to Creepy Hollows. It's a pervasive issue within the broader New Age movement. The dangers of this type of practice often goes unnoticed or unchallenged because they're masquerading as harmless fantasy roleplays or alternative spirituality. In reality, what we are allegedly dealing with is a calculated form of exploitation.
It's actually a hard plastic, but it is an energy transfer piece
That targets those that are already on the edge of psychological well-being. In the What Went Wrong sections of the Creepy Hollows forum, there are several posts where people fear they are getting haunted or cursed in ways that are frankly terrifying. One user writes, "Assaulted by spirits. Court winds tell me he's still partially possessing me, and everyone stays this way." Basically the title, it was sexual assault too. "For 7 months now, I've been plagued by this. Being pushed and pulled. Started meds for schizophrenia, but too many coincidences on my account. Banishing spells do nothing. I'm at my wit's end and I don't know what to do. This hobby has ruined me." If you know someone vulnerable to this kind of predatory behavior, whether it's due to mental illness, loneliness, or simple curiosity, engage with them. Offer alternative resources and support, but don't stop there. Reach out to mental health organizations, consumer protection agencies, and even lawmakers. Advocate for stricter regulations and oversight for predatory online marketplaces that aggressively target the mentally ill. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching the entire video to the end. If you liked it, please remember to give me a thumbs up, a comment, and maybe subscribe.